This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show podcast, the podcast show where we unlock potential one dream at a time. Today, we have another guest whose journey is truly worth hearing. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Moneyway experience.
What's up, my good people? Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show, in association with Believe Network, the podcast where we uncover stories of ambition, success, and personal growth. I'm your host, CJ Moneyway, and today's guest is a powerhouse in both the trading world and entrepreneurship. We are being joined by Anmol, a high-paid consultant, entrepreneur, angel investor, and the founder of LiveTraders, where he has coached over 1,000 traders and investors, many of whom now run their own hedge funds. Anmol is a leading expert in trading for psychology and author of the book Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making It in Life, which has received rave reviews on Amazon. Anmol, man, welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show, man. Glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting with you.
I appreciate it, man. So, Anmol, man, you've built an impressive career in trade and entrepreneurship. Can you take us back to the beginning? What inspired you to get into the world of trading and investing?
Yeah, I think I got into it pretty much very early on. As a kid, I was a complete introvert, and I'd spend a lot of time on my Xbox and, basically just playing games. So for me, when I went to college, I left India. That's where I was born. I left India, moved to London to do my university degree and, graduation degree in business. And there was a time there you had to apply for like internships and jobs and all of that stuff in London. And I remember a time where, applied to a lot of different jobs, a lot of internships, all the way from the best companies, all the way to the bottom ones, the startups. And I just couldn't get in anywhere. I think I got a few callbacks, a couple interviews, but I didn't really get a job. And I think that's kind of when it dawned on me that I can't just sit here and in my dorm room and rely on somebody to come and give me a job. I'd have to go out and make it happen. And so I was just, what a typical introvert would do, just on his computer, figuring out what can I do from computer. So I don't have to talk to people, don't need any office politics. I wanted to always do something online. So I started reading, started researching, and, sort of found trading. I read some books on the topic, and I was just became super curious. I was like, wow, how do the stocks move up and down? Who decides the prices? All of that stuff I wanted to learn fully. And also had a lot of time. I had a lot of time. I would just sit there while my friends got a job. They would go to their regular jobs. I had nothing to do. So I would just sit there and study all day long. And I barely left my room. I mean, most college students would think oh, you're going out there partying, having a good time. No, I was in my room just reading, researching, studying. I never thought I'd do anything to do with stocks because I was horrible at math. I was an average student. I was like, finance is the last thing. It's too complicated. I can never get into that. But when you get into it, you realize it's nothing to do with numbers, right? It's more about pattern recognition, and at least in the stock market. I just kind of took it, started when I was 18 years old, and have been doing that ever since. So I've never had a job. Been doing that ever since.
That's what's up, man. That's cool. And me and you was on opposite sides of the fence when it came to college, because as you said, you was there studying and doing your thing. I was the one out there like your friends. I was out there partying and BSing, man, doing me. So, man, tell us about LiveTraders, man. What was your vision when you launched the platform in 2015, and how has it evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think my main inspiration was to shorten the learning curve for other people who are getting into the stock market. Because online, I mean, like there's so much information out there, right? And people are scouring like Twitter, X, and Reddit and watching YouTube videos and a lot of different books. And then, naturally, as you're watching those videos, you're going to find a Facebook ad. Hey, buy my course, or I'm going to teach you how to trade, or, turn 100,000 into $1 million or $10 into $1 million. Back in the day, before these regulations, those ads would be everywhere. Right? I mean, on Google, your email list. So a lot of people have unrealistic expectations when it comes to the stock market. They think it's a get rich quick thing, or they're just going to buy this random coin and it's going to go up and they're going to make $1 million. But that's gambling. That's not trading, right? Real trading, is very different to that. So my thinking was with LiveTraders is to show people what the reality of the stock market is, how it actually works, so they can distinguish between actual trading and what's marketing and hype, right? So the difference is the key to figure out to be able to build a strategy. So, everything that I went through, I mean, I lost money my whole first year of trading. So I was like, if I can just kind of give everybody all the lessons, that helped me become profitable, then that'll help shorten their learning curve. And we called it LiveTraders because back in the day, nobody would do it live. Even now, many people don't do it live. They'll sell their programs or courses or their Discord channels. But I'm like, no, I want to watch you do it in real time every single day. So that's what we do is I stream myself every morning. I've been doing that since 2015 with LiveTraders, and 2 years for a different company. So I share my camera, my audio. You can see my screen. You can see my charts. You can see my, whenever I'm buying or selling. I know we maintain a track record of all those trades as well. So I think that was kind of why we called it LiveTraders, because we just trade live. It's almost like you're sitting next to me.
That's pretty cool, man. So you've coached and trained thousands of traders. What are some of the most common psychological challenges traders face, and how do you help them overcome their obstacles?
Yeah, there's a lot of different challenges traders face because, learning how to trade is very easy. Like you can spend a weekend with me. I can teach you how to trade, but then getting you to do what I just taught you is a whole different ballgame, right? Because everybody buys a stock, it's going down. They should be getting out for a small loss, but they keep holding. Oh, maybe it'll come back up. Let me buy more. And so that's hope. And hope is not a strategy, right? You have to have a strategy. In the same way, when the stock is going up and they said, oh, if it goes to if I buy something at $20 a share, if it goes to $30 a share, I'll sell it. And now it's at 30, but then you get greedy. I think it's going to go 40 now. Let me just not sell it. Let me hold it. So they basically have no plan. They're basically swaying with their emotions of fear and greed, right? When they should be getting out and taking a profit, they keep holding because they think it's going to go higher. And when it's going down, they don't get out of that one. They keep holding the loser too. So that way you're never going to make money. So those are some of the reasons people get swayed by their emotions of fear and greed. They don't have a plan. I mean, you wouldn't enter a business without a business plan. So how do you enter a trade or investment without a plan? So I think those are a couple of the pitfalls. But then, people get into hope and they try to get rich quick. They want to make all the money now. Like, I want this coin to go up and I want to make this money. But that's not how it works, right? Trading is about singles and doubles, not about home runs. So the way we teach traders is we have a complete framework. And the biggest framework has to do with risk management. That is the number one thing. I don't care what stock you're going to buy, where you're going to buy it. Every time we need to know, what are we risking on this trade, right? If I lose on this, what's the worst case scenario, right? And then we decide that beforehand. So easy rule of thumb is, let's say, CJ, you say, all right, I want to buy this stock, but if I lose, I don't want to lose more than $1,000. Right? That's my limit. Then great. Let's say if you buy a stock at $20 and we say, okay, if it goes below like 19, I'm going to get out. So now we're risking $1 per share, right? So now if I only want to lose a maximum of $1,000, guess what? I know how many shares to buy. I have to buy 1,000 shares. So if it goes down $1, I automatically get out of it. I don't know questions asked, automatic exit. Now that way, I exactly know what I'm going to lose. So there's no uncertainty. There's no risk. There's no feeling of like, what's going to happen? None of that. Because you already know worst case is $1,000 and you've already admitted it and planned for it before you got into the trade. So a lot of times the way to conquer our emotions is through creating a plan, creating a checklist, following that checklist, making sure you know what you're risking. When are you going to get out if you're wrong? When are you going to get out if you're right? Like all those parameters need to be there for you to be a professional trader. Otherwise, you're just speculating and gambling. And I mean, just go on Reddit. It's a graveyard of hopes and dreams, like people losing a lot of money. So, they never sell anything.
Yeah.
Hey hustlers, I'm CJ Moneyway. And if you're building a team to grow your business, let me introduce you to ZipRecruiter. Their AI-powered platform finds the right talent fast. posting your job to over 100 job sites with just one click. I've seen how their smart matching delivers quality candidates in 24 hours. Perfect for job seekers like you, scaling brick by brick. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/click. Use code CJMoney for an exclusive deal. That's ZipRecruiter.com/click. Hire your hustle today. Now back to the show.
So that's cool, man. And I like the fact too, your live trader platform, like you say, y'all doing things in real time. And so in real time, you showing people, your successes and the failures at the same time. I would guess that's what's happening, right?
Yeah, and that's the best way to learn, because everybody online will tell you all about their winning trades, how much great traders they are, but nobody wins all the trades 100% of the time. Everybody, no matter how good you are, you're going to lose. Majority, 50% of the time, 60%, sometimes 30% of the time, 20% of the time, but you're going to lose. Losers are part of the game. Mm-hmm. So I show them when I'm losing, hey, you get to see me lose. So you see, okay, how am I handling myself? I'm not getting emotional. I'm not getting like, how does the market take my money? I'm going to get back in it again, buy more shares. I'm going to make this work. So we're trying to make money. We don't want to be right. Some people come into this business, they want to be right. I told you this stock's going to do this. Your ego has no place in trading. I don't want to be right. I want to make the money, right? So I think that's kind of the mindset that I come by. And yeah, they get to see me lose. They get to see me win. And the best part, more learning lessons happen if I lose, actually, because then you see how I navigate it. My ability to just step away too. Nothing's good out there. I don't like anything. There's no good trades or investments I'm seeing. I'm happy to just walk away, right? Most people can't do that. They just get stuck in it, almost like a gambler.
So let me ask you a question, man. So with your live traders, you say you go on every morning. So how long do you actually stay on? Is it 30 minutes, an hour, or what?
Yeah, so 9 o'clock. So at 9 a.m. we start streaming. So from 9 to 9:30, what we do is we make a watch list, because market opens at 9:30. So 30 minutes before, we start taking a look at what stocks are moving today, what has some news, what's going on in the markets. And we try to build a list of maybe 10 stocks that we're going to look at today, right? And then most of my trading is done between 9:30 till 11 o'clock, right? And I'm usually streaming from 9 o'clock till about 11 o'clock. And then 11 o'clock, I get off the stream. And then one of my other coaches, he comes on. And then he comes on from 11 to 12. And then 12 o'clock, we just keep the room open for everybody to chat, interact. But streaming happens from 9 to 12 every day, Monday to Friday.
So what's your link, man? So is it LiveTraders.com or is it on?
Just LiveTraders.com. That's where people can learn more about it. And, if that suits them, just check it out. Come take a trial, hang out with us, and maybe you watch it and you're like, oh shit, this is too intense. It's not for me. And that's okay. That's all right. Because it is a fast pace. A lot of the guys in there are professionals. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been with me, since I started. But there's a lot of newer traders too. But if you're going to be new, my first piece of advice is don't try to do everything I'm doing. Like, don't try to just copy all of my trades. Take a week or two and just watch. Almost like you're watching a movie. Just watch and observe how we do it, so you can understand the pace of things and how fast or slow we do it. And then you can start taking the trades if you like.
That's cool, man. So as we talking about trading, you say things, is fast paced and everything. Trading can be incredibly high stakes with emotions running high. How important is trading psychology, and what strategies do you teach to help traders stay disciplined under pressure?
Yeah, psychology is literally everything to do with trading, because you, like me, know people who know all the information, even as it relates to business. It's the same exact thing, whether business, trading, investing, even running a podcast. A lot of people know what they need to do, but they don't do it, right? So the thing is, anybody can learn the strategies. I can teach you all about trading and investing, but I can't physically grab the mouse and push the button for you, right? Like, you still have to do the thing. Or if I tell you to get out somewhere, you still have to get out, So like, you can't just keep holding. So the psychology aspect is absolutely crucial, because I've seen traders come and go over my 15 years in this business. I see people come and go. It's almost like a revolving door. Every few years, more people come in. I want to learn how to trade. And then they realize, oh my God, it's really hard. And then they leave. And then, some people stick around. But the people who make it versus don't are just almost like they're robotic. Emotional indifference, completely robotic. It's not about emotions. It's not about what I think is going to happen. I feel the stock is going to do it. None of that. They're just following a system, following a process, singles and doubles. And they're very good at that. Traders who, psychology holds them back are like very emotional. They don't have a plan. So I think the best thing, psychology is everything to do with trading, because without that, you're not going to make it. It's the closest thing to a sport, like thousands of people are going to play basketball, but only few are going to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
Same thing in this business. Everybody can learn how to trade, but only few are going to make it. And the ones that make it are completely detached to the outcome. I don't care if it's a winning trade or losing trade. I'm completely detached to it because I know my odds, almost like a casino, right? You go to a casino, you could win $1 million at the casino, and guess what? They're not going to mind. They're going to be like, here's some free drinks, here's a free steak. Keep playing, because they know the longer you play, in the end, they have this percentage edge. They're going to come out ahead in the long run, right? In a big enough sample size. So that's what we do with trading. It's not about if I win a trade or lose a trade. I know that at the end of the month, right, I'm going to, let's say, for example, I take 100 trades and I lose on 50 of them and I win on 50 of them, right? Which is very reasonable. You can throw a dart on something and the stock could go up or down. You have a 50% chance it goes up, 50% goes down. But if I just ensure that the winning investments or winning trades are twice the size of my average loser, then I only need to be right 34% of the time, right? So if I take 100 trades and I lost, let's say $1,000 each on 50 of them, right? So guess what I lost? I lost like 50 grand. But on the 50 that I win on, let's say I win $2,000 each. Now I made 100 grand. So net at the end of the month, I'm going to make 50 grand. So when you know your numbers, it's really good. I think so. Emotional indifference is key. It doesn't help in relationships. At least that's what my ex-girlfriend told me. But in trading, it's one of the best characteristics to have.
Hey, well, you made an analogy about the casinos. I worked in the casino industry for over 20 years. One thing you didn't add in there, you said the steak and the drinks. They're going to give you comps. They want you to stay. They're going to give you hotel rooms and everything else. They're going to fly you out to Vegas if it's a connected casino in Vegas. Like you said, they're going to get their money back one way or another. So
exactly.
So, hey, man, let me ask you, man. Many people are intimidated by the stock market. What advice would you give beginners who want to start investing but don't know where to begin?
Yeah, I think the first thing is, you have to take it slow, right? Like, don't be in a rush. Like, if you want to trade for a living, right, like I do, you don't want to trade like you got to retire next week. Right? Take it slow. There's no rush. The stock market was here before I was born, and it's going to be here long after I leave the earth. There's no rush. You got all the time in the world. So take it slow and focus on learning. Your number one goal as a trader, believe it or not, is not to make money, is to preserve your capital. That you're in principle, because just like a casino analogy, in order to win, you need to bet. In order to bet, you need to have chips to bet with. If you run out of chips, you can't bet, right? So same thing with trading. If you run out of your money, like, what are you going to do with it? You can't do anything. So the number one goal is capital preservation. So take it slow, focus on learning first, right? Like, for example, last year I started to learn how to play golf. Now I can't just expect I'm going to pick up a golf club, I'm just going to smack it, I'm going to hit it big, I'm going to be in the PGA Tour. No. Right? I got to take lessons. I got to go practice, sometimes in a simulator, sometimes in a driving range, sometimes take a private lesson. Same thing here. You got to get coached first, because otherwise, again, markets are ruthless, right? It is what it is. Market doesn't care about you. It's going to go do its thing regardless, right? And if you're going to compete with traders like me, traders from Goldman Sachs or big trading firms, you got to be on your A game, right? So you got to get coached first, take it slow, and then start with like demo money. Don't even put your real money in it. Right? Because again, there's things known as simulator accounts these days. It's widely available online where everything is real. The money, the prices are real, stock prices are real, everything is real. Just the money that you're trading with is not real, right? It's just demo money. So practice with that first, really get good at entering the trade, exiting the trade, following a process, get used to that first. And then when you start making money on a demo account, then you can think about even risking your real money. Because here's the fact, if you can't make money with fake money, you're not going to make money with real money. Simple as that.
So if you can't win in Monopoly, you ain't going to win in this game of life either. Let me ask you, man, because, my father, before he passed, he was a big golf fan, man. After he got into it, he loved it. He said he loved it more than any sports he played. So how do you feel about golf, man? How is your interest level since you said you just started?
No, I mean, I don't watch a lot of golf, but I love playing the game, because it's one of the games there that, a lot of sports that you play growing up, at some point you can't play them anymore, right? Golf is one of the only sports that you could be 70 years old, you could be 80 years old, and you can play it through your life. So I think that's a good sport to have, for the future to practice. I love it because you get to meet really awesome people in golf courses. The connections are great. And, the networking is great. I mean, you were with somebody in a golf course for 5 hours, sometimes more, right? So you build really good connections. So that's really good. And you get to go out there in the nature. Golf courses are beautiful. I enjoy that. And also golf is also very mental, just like trading. Because think about it. The ball's not moving. The ball is just sitting where it is. It's just you, right? It's not like baseball or any other sport where the ball could move in a different way. The guy could throw it some other way. You have to have hand-eye coordination. Golf is one of the sports that it's all in your head because it's literally the ball is just sitting there, right? So how you do it, it's all up to you. And that's what trading really is. The stock is there, market is what it is. Your ability to navigate that will determine your success.
I've been thinking about getting into golf, man. My father used to try to get me out there with him. I just never could pull the trigger. But like you say, the network and, you hear all the stories of network and they say business deals are made on the golf course. And so let me ask you, hey man, beyond trading, you're involved in several entrepreneur ventures, including franchising, stores, and angel investing. What drives you to pursue such diverse opportunities?
I think, with trading is like at some point, for example, let's say you've been making money from trading, right? Now you got to do something with it. Right? So that's one of those things. Like, what am I going to do? Just keep it in my account? Like, you got to do something with it. So that's kind of what kept me looking for other opportunities. Okay, let's assume something happens to me and I can't trade anymore, right? Whatever. Then what do I do now, right? I got to have other sources or other backups. If case something, God forbid, happens, then, I got to have income coming in or something from other sources. So for that was one of the things. And I always wanted to, building wealth was always one of my priorities. Maybe it started off with not so great intentions, but then slowly turned into okay, I want to do this, as a legacy. I want to build something. I want to prove myself too. I want to see how far I can take it. So I think a lot of those things keep me going. And, that's why when you get the money from trading, I always tell people, don't just keep trading with the money because you can always keep working for your money. So every month, take a percentage of what you made from trading and just tuck it aside. Put it in a long-term investment, buy some properties, do some Airbnb stuff, do a lot of these other things to have your nest egg built up. So trading is a great way to go into the market, pull out money from the market, and then just park it everywhere else like you want to do. I think that's how I look at the stock market. Is my job is to go in there, pull money out, and then you use it to buy properties, use it to invest in other companies or, other businesses.
That's a good way to look at it. Gotta have pockets, man. I like your stream of income. That's what everybody talk about nowadays, having multiple streams of income. And that's a good way to look at it the way you just explained it. So let me ask you, man, you invested in multiple startups. What qualities do you look for in a business or entrepreneur before deciding to invest?
Yeah, so when it comes to investing in startups, I really don't care about the business majority of the time, right? Unless something is completely wrong with it. I don't care about the business. What I really care about is the entrepreneur, is the person who's running the company, right? Because I've seen, companies that have great business ideas, you're thinking about it, you're like, wow, this is a great idea. This is a great concept. This is going to be great business. But if it's run by somebody whose mind is not fully there, right? Or if he's just in it to make a buck, right? Or if his only goal is, I just want to get my company successful enough so I can just sell it and walk away, then those companies rarely make it. So I look at the intention of the entrepreneur. Is he actually passionate about this idea? Is he really, wanting to do it? Is it is his passion? Because, when things get tough, if money was your only motivation, when things get tough, you can quit because you'll find somewhere else to make money in. But if that's your baby, that's your passion, right? That's your business, then you're going to keep going when things get tough. So for me, I only look at the entrepreneur, his intentions, his drive, his motivation, and how involved he is in the business and how much he believes in it. Because I've invested, I've made some bad investments too. Almost invested in one about 2 years ago. He came to me, he met me, great idea of the business, got this AI thing built in. Everything was super awesome. But I just didn't have that gut feel when I met him. I just didn't feel good about that person because his idea was all about we're going to do this and we're going to sell this business over here. I'm like, oh, so you're in it for selling it. So you're not really passionate. I didn't say that to him, but I kind of make mental notes of how people talk and how they react and what their mindset is, how they handle the money. Oh yeah, I see that you raised money last year. You raised $1 million from all these investors. What happened to that? Right? What did you do with that money? What did you promise them and where did you go? So then you look back and you see their track record. It's not a good track record. So I think that's one of the things that I look for. I don't care about education either. I don't care if you're from Harvard or if you have no education. It's more about street smarts. How good are you to making it happen? How resourceful are you? I think that's the biggest thing because I've had businesses that have gone public, that I made good amount of money.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
And those people didn't even have a degree, but they knew the right people to talk to. Who do I need to speak to? The right connections. How can I make that? And I think that is more important than anything else.
Hey, CJ Moneyway Show fans. Coming up, I'm spilling the secret to hiring top talent with ZipRecruiter. AI that works as hard as you do. Stick around for details at ZipRecruiter.com/click. Use code CJMoney for a free trial. Let's get to it. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/click. Use code CJMoney for an exclusive deal. That's ZipRecruiter.com/click. Hire your hustle today. Now back to the show.
I like that. You always got to be able to know how to read somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The behind the scenes things that other people ain't looking at. So I like that. So changing courses, man, a little bit. Let's talk about what you probably came on here to talk about. Your book, Prepping for Success, man. 10 Keys for Making It in Life. It focuses on productivity and personal success. Can you share a few insights from the book that can help us or help our listeners achieve their goals?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, there's two big ones I'll give you. One of them is like, which I see happen a lot of times these days. People are stuck in what I call the learning loop, meaning they go from one book, then they read another book. They listen to one podcast, they go to another podcast. They go to one seminar, one coaching program to another, and they keep buying courses. And they just keep stuck in that wheel of learning, but they never actually do anything. They never actually execute on the information that they've learned. They never actually apply it. So that is a trap. Right? That is a trap that people fall into, because true knowledge is applied knowledge, right? If you cannot apply it, it's not knowledge. It's just information. So a lot of people are just out there gathering information, and you question them on something. They know the right answers too. But then I'm like, why are you not applying it in your own life? Right? People claim or they brag about, I've read, 20 books this month or whatever. I'm like, but your life doesn't demonstrate you taking action on any of that. Right? So I'd rather you not read 100 books. I'd rather you read one book 10 times, take notes on it, and actually apply it. So my learning methodology is anytime I'm learning something, if I'm reading a book, I read a chapter, I close the book, and first I sit down with myself. What did I learn? Can I use this information in my own life? Right? And sometimes you're like, okay, I can't use anything. Oh, great, move on to the next chapter. But every chapter at the end of it, I think about, okay, how does this apply to my life? How can I apply this? How can I use this information? And once I've done that, then I move on to the next chapter. And then I do that every time I'm reading. Most people just read a book cover to cover. They think they got it all. But then you look at their life. I'm like, oh, but yeah, in the chapter 3, it said this. But you're not doing that. So you just said you read all these 10 books. But what's happening over here? Why did you not do it? So that's the learning loop that people get stuck in. And the only way your life moves forward is through action, right? You can't just sit here and, chant, oh my God, manifesting, it's coming. It's not coming. You got to act on it. Right? So that's the number one goal. You got to take action. The other success key in the book, in the same line of thought, is integrity. It's do what you said you're going to do and do it when you said you're going to do it. That's it. And do it not because you feel like it or don't feel like it. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Right? Doing the thing because it's the right thing to do. So oftentimes, people would say, but I'm a person of integrity. I do everything I talk about. I'm like, really? When is the last time you ran into an old friend at an airport or a shopping mall and you're like, hey man, good to see you. We should totally catch up. And then you go home and you never make any attempts to ever catch up with them. You never follow up. So you just said something that you don't really mean. Why do you do that? You're trying to look good. You don't want to look bad. You're trying to be friendly. But you're basically saying stuff that you don't mean. So that is a biggest cycle I've seen with people. Because what happens is, if you don't follow through on your own word, right, how do you expect the universe to follow through on you? How do you expect your clients to believe in you if you don't believe in your own word? And that's a cycle where people say they're going to do something, they don't feel it, they don't do it, and they feel guilty about it, right? That lowers their self-esteem. Because of their self-esteem is getting lowered, now they're showing up with less self-confidence, because your brain unconsciously is going to start saying that. Because in the future, when you're like, you know what, I really want to do this, your brain's going to be like, you're full of it. He just says things, he doesn't actually believe in it. That's a cycle that continues on. Low self-confidence, low self-esteem, you break your word, and it just happens over and over and over again. So you got to break that cycle and start acting on your word. Make sure you follow through. Make sure you honor your word. Make sure whatever you say, you really mean it. Or just don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it. But what you say, you should mean it.
Yeah. I like that. Like you say, I know it was a saying back in the day, your word is your bond. You know, your word is your bond. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, or I'm going to try my best. If I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, because now, like you say, now you consider as a liar, and you may have a good thing going on, but you had lied to me several times. Now it's hard for me to believe this good product that you got, you know what I'm saying? Like the wolf that, what they say, the wolf, the one that cried wolf, whatever. And then when it finally came, then nobody believed me, got his butt toe up. So that's life, man. You got to you got to stand on what you say, man. And I really, that's one of my pet peeves, especially with men. You know, hey, say what you mean and mean what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how you build trust. And so speaking of trust, man, relationships, both business and personal, are critical to success. What advice do you have for building strong, meaningful relationships?
Yeah, I think, again, it goes back to the integrity piece. Like, if you show up as a person of integrity, you do that a few times with people, the third, fourth time, they're not even going to question you, because they know you're going to follow through on your word. So then, if they can believe in you, they're going to trust you. If they're going to trust you, they're going to open up with you. If they're going to open up with you, they're going to share more with you. And that's how you build relationships, right? You can build surface level relationships all day long. People go to networking events. Oh, look at that. I got 20 business cards, right? But if I call any of them, none of them would know who you are, right? They wouldn't even remember you. It's just a business card, right? So to build relationships, you have to show up with integrity, and also not just integrity as it relates to other people, like giving other people your word, but also the word you give to yourself. Right? You say, you know what, for example, I noticed this in my own life. I had a lack of integrity as it relates to health a few years ago, right? I was chasing the money dream, I was traveling all over the world, and I gained a lot of weight. And for me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to start working out on Monday. And then Monday comes, but it's like the 28th of the month. So you're like, I'll just start from the 1st. Next month, from 1st, I'll start. And now it's November 1st. I'm like, I'll just start from January 1st, and you just keep moving the timeline forward on your own goals. Right? We're just negotiating with ourselves, and that's a negotiation you're never going to win. You're always going to come out losing, because you're negotiating with your own goals. You're moving the timeline forward on your own goals. So what happens is people observe people, right? Like, we all observe people, no matter what we think. So if we say something, let's say publicly or to somebody, that, you know what, I'm going to do this, and then they see you 1 month later, you haven't done it, they're not going to trust you, right? So that word that we keep to ourselves, and also word we keep to others. And then also just like drop the guard and just be open with people. A lot of people are guarded. They wear a mask. They want to show the best side of themselves to people, which is normal, by the way. But they want to just show the best side. Everything's great. Everything's going great in my business. How you doing, man? Oh, everything's great, man. How are you? But reality is different. You're probably not doing that great, right? And we never open up with people. So what happens is when you open up with people, that not only builds trust, right? Because you're being open with them, but then in return, they're also going to start to open up, and that's how you build healthy relationships.
I like that. You got to build trust, and you got to, you know what I'm saying? If you want to, especially in the business that you in, even in this space I'm in, you got to build trust with people in order for people to keep coming back, and continue doing business. So let me ask you, hey, man, as we getting ready to close this up, you speak about spirituality and life balance. In such a high stakes career, how do you maintain a sense of peace and fulfillment?
Yeah, I think fulfillment for me really comes from the results that I can generate for myself and my clients, right? So if I can get them to be consistent, whether it's a stock market, where they can control their psychology and they're being emotionally strong, and more than that, for me, it's very black and white, because if I was just a mindset or personal development coach, the thing is, you can't really measure if they actually got the result or not. right? People can be like, oh, yeah, enjoy this workshop, great. But you really don't know if their life actually changed after that workshop, right? So with trading, it's very black and white. If the person that I'm coaching made money, then I'm successful, right? If a person I'm coaching is still struggling, then I didn't do my job, right? So my fulfillment comes from getting them the results and getting them to reach their goals. And in return, obviously, I get my goals as well. So I think that is kind of the mindset that I get my fulfillment from. But as it relates to peace is a very spiritual thing, in my opinion, right? Which goes deeper than just success in business or making money. Like, how do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself, right? What are your thoughts going through in your head when nobody knows, the thoughts that we never tell anybody? As long as those thoughts are, I would say, not creating anxiety in my life and keeping me, I wouldn't say happy, because you can never truly be always happy. There's always going to be ups and downs in life, right? But as long as you can sit with yourself and be like, you know what? I did my job today. I did the best I could. I showed up the way I wanted to show up. The results are not in my control, but I showed up the way I should have showed up. Then that's peace, right? And again, there's many different ways you could do that. I love to put on my headphones and I just like to go for a walk. For me, that's meditation. Putting on the headphones, just some music, and just going for a long walk. And I get my best ideas usually during those walks. So that is meditation. You could meditate too. Sometimes I, just sit down and take a deep breath and do that for a while, put some nice music in the background. That's how I create peace within myself. But then also knowing that, going to the spiritual side, let's say, how many times have you seen somebody run a business or start something and you're like, I had that idea, right? We've all had that. Like, I thought of that. And everybody says that, oh, I had that idea too. I thought of that too. But then, so it's not that the idea is coming to somebody special, right? The ideas are just, it's a universal downloads, God or spirituality, whatever you believe in, is giving everybody these ideas. The only difference is some just grab on it and they act on it and then make it happen. Where others say, yeah, I had this idea too. Everybody gets the same downloads from the universe. It's just some pick up on it and some go for it and some just keep stuck in their own mind and never take action on it. So I look at any ideas that come to me, I'm like, oh, that's given to me by God. And if I don't act on it, I'm doing a disservice. So I think that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, I like that too. And the only way, as you said, in order to get that inner voice and things, you got to get into a peaceful space in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? I was telling somebody not too long ago, and even as a man or a woman, if you want peace in your household, you got to bring peace to the household. I can't bring chaos to the house and then expect a peaceful household. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the same way with our lives. If you want peace, you got to get yourself in a position to have peace, man. And that's the greatest thing that we can have is the internal peace, man, because when everything going on around us, it really ain't affecting you because I'm in a peaceful spot, man. I'm in a peaceful place. And so I think that's key, like you say, to success and to anything else. Find your place of peace, everybody. Find your place of peace. So let me ask you, hey, man, as we getting ready to leave here, man, what last piece of advice do you want our audience to remember, whether they are aspiring entrepreneurs, traders, or just looking for personal growth?
Yeah, I think whatever your goals are, chunk it down to smaller goals, that stuff you can do right now. Because you might have a goal, I want to make $10 million. And when you think about it, it might seem unattainable. Oh, that's so far off. Let's focus on making the next 10,000 first. When we make the 10,000, let's get to 50. Let's get to 100. So don't look at this big goal. Just look at what the next step is. Because, one of the things is, imagine like a dark path, right? You're walking in a dark little alley. So the path, the destination that you're trying to go for is always going to be unclear. The destination will always be unclear. It's always going to be dark and you cannot see that far out. But you know what? The next step is always clear, right? Imagine you're in the dark forest and you want to go all the way to the end of the forest. You can't see it, but you can see the next step you can take, right? So the next step is always clear. The path might be unclear. The next step is always clear. So just focus on taking the next step. So take your goals down and chunk it down into smaller goals, break it down by year, then break it down by month, by week, then by day. What do I need to do tomorrow? So one of the things that I do, and I have a journal that I have, is called the Success Journal. I fill it out every single day religiously, and all my students have to fill it out religiously. It doesn't even take more than 2 minutes. Right? It takes like maybe 1 or 2 minutes in the morning, 1 or 2 minutes at night. It's just 2 pages you got to fill out, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. Right? And it already given you the questions. You just write it down. So one of the things that I do religiously every night is I sit down, let's say 8, 9 p.m., all the work is done. I got myself in a peaceful state. And I'll just think about, okay, what are the 6 things that I need to do tomorrow when I wake up that'll move the needle forward in my life, whether it's health related, business related, or anything else related. What the 6 things I need to do tomorrow? So then when I wake up tomorrow, I don't have to wonder like most people, gee, what am I going to do today? Let me see. What am I going to do? You already lost the battle. The day's already begun, right? So you don't want to wake up and think, okay, what should I do today? Plan that out the night before. So then when I wake up, I don't care about my emails. I don't care about my text messages or phone calls. My only goal is I'm going to get those 6 things done. Now, if it takes me 9 p.m. to do all those 6 things, it is what it is. I do those 6 things first. Some days I get those 6 things knocked down and it's like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Then I got all the rest of the day for anything I want to do. If I want to play golf, I want to talk to my friends, I want to do nothing and listen to a podcast or whatever, like I can do all of those things because I've now created the time. I already feel accomplished because I've done those 6 things that I said I was going to do. So if we do that every day, think about where we're going to be in a year. If you do write things down, 6 things in the next morning, that's your only goal. Nothing matters until you do those 6 things. And that moves the needle forward every little day by little, by little, by little, by little. And you're going to be surprised where you're going to be in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I think that is the one of the biggest things I can give you. And yeah, to our earlier point, when a lot of time people would say, but we talk about these downloads and, spirituality or God or whatever, but I never seem to get those downloads, or I never seem to be able to hear any of those messages. I'm like, have you tried to stop talking? Have you tried to stop talking? Yeah. So you can actually sit down and listen for a change. Yeah. That's when the most ideas come. Can you sit down with yourself for 30 minutes without grabbing your phone or opening TikTok or browsing through X or any of that? Try that. And then, do that for like a month and see what happens.
Yeah. Like you say, you put your headphones on and you walk and, long walks. I get a lot of my stuff either in the shower or on my way to work, no radio, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, I can't pick up the phone and just look at the phone, although a lot of people do that nowadays, which is just reckless and dangerous. But that's why I get a lot of my thoughts at, and a lot of, just spending that peaceful time you by yourself on your way in, you know what I'm saying? And just going over things that you, like you say, need to go over, some things that I need to do when I get there, some things I need to do when I get home. So I like your concept as far as creating your day before the day. And then once you get that accomplished, now you feel good about your day. You can do other things, but you feel good about the things that you set out to do that day. Now everything else just falls in place. I like that, man. Yeah. So, thank you, man, for coming on and sharing your story and your insights with us today, man. It's been fantastic. Your journey from trading success to becoming a multifaceted entrepreneur is truly inspiring. Before we wrap up, where can our listeners contact you and learn more about LiveTraders and find your book, Prepping for Success?
Yeah, I'd love to give your listeners a free copy of my book. They can just go to go.unmol.net, my first name. Just go to go.unmol.net and just cover shipping, and we'll send you a copy of the book. And that's a really good place to start. But then if trading is something you're interested in, you can always go to my website, unmol.net or livetraders.com, and you can learn more about that. But in terms of social media, Instagram and Twitter is where I'm the most active on. And my username on both of those is Delta90. DELTANINETY. It's all spelled out, Delta90. Don't ask me why. I had it long time ago when social media came out, and I never changed it.
All right, so, man, I appreciate you for giving the listeners a free copy of your book, man, if they click the link. So, again, Anmol, man, thank you for joining the CJ Moneyway Show. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you gain valuable information today on this episode, please leave a review, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to level up in business, trading, or life. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay motivated, and keep chasing your dreams. This is your boy CJ Moneyway signing off. We out of here. Peace.
Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/work. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Thank you for listening to the CJ Moneyway Show. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, leave a comment, and drop a review. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday and Friday for more inspiring journeys. Who knows? Your story might be next.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.